Standard 10th History, Chapter 6, Early Revolts Against the British Rule in Tamil Nadu. Introduction. The British and the French fought 3 Carnatic wars in India. In the war, the French were defeated and East India Company began to consolidate and extend its power and influence. The local kings and feudal chieftains resisted it. The first resistance to East India Company was from Pulidevar of Nerkattum Sevalil in Tirunelveli region. This was followed by Velu Nachiyar, Veerapandiya Kattabomman, Marudu brothers and Dhiran Chinnamalai were known as Palayakaras. This war was known as Palayakarar Wars. Early resistance to British rule in Tamil Nadu. Resistance of regional powers against the British. The word Palayam means a domain, a military camp, or a little kingdom. Palayakaras. The British referred it as a small kingdom. Palayam was given for valuable military services rendered by any individual. The Palayakara system was in practice during the rule of Pratapa Rudra of Warangal in the Kakatiya kingdom. This system was put in place in Tamil Nadu by Vishwanatha Nayak when he became the Nayak ruler of Madurai in 1529. There were supposed to be 72 Palayakaras. The Palayakaras were free to collect revenue, administer the territory, settle disputes, and maintain law and order. The police duties were called Arasukaval. The relationship and understanding between the king and the Palayakaras lasted for about 200 years. Eastern and Western Palayams. The 72 Palayakaras created by the Nayak rulers. There were 2 blocks, Eastern and Western Palayam. The Eastern Palayams were Satur, Nagalapuram, Ettayapuram and Panjalangurichi. The Western Palayams were Uttumalai, Talavangotai, Nadavukurichi, Singambatti, Seithur. Palayakaras revolt. Nawab of Arcot's brother Mahfuz Khan. Nawab of Arcot's brother Mahfuz Khan was sent with the company army under Colonel Heron to Tirunelveli. Nawab of Arcot's brother Mahfuz Khan was sent with the company army under Colonel Heron to Tirunelveli. Madurai fell into their hands. Colonel Heron was to deal with Pulideva. Pulideva had influence over the Western Palayakaras for want of weapons, cannons and supplies and pay to soldiers. But Colonel Heron abandoned the plan. When he returned to Madurai, Heron was recalled and dismissed from service by the East India Company. Confederacy and alliance with enemies of the British. Pulideva with the 3 Pathan officers and Palayakaras joined together to fight against the British. All the 3 Pathan officers, Pulideva and Palayakaras, joined together to fight against the British, with the exception of Palayakaras of Shivagiri. But Maravarpalayam supported him. Maravarpalayam supported him. Ettayapuram and Panjalanguruchi did not support. Ettayapuram and Panjalanguruchi did not support. The English got the support of the Rajas of Ramanathapuram and Pudukottai. The English got the support of Rajas of Ramanathapuram and Pudukottai. Pulidevar got the support of Hyder Ali of Mysore and the French. But Hyder Ali could not help Pulidevar because he was locked in the conflict with the Marathas. Hyder Ali could not help Pulideva because he was locked in the conflict with the Marathas. Kalakadu battle. The Nawab sent sepoys to Mahfuz Khan. Nawab sent sepoys to Mahfuz Khan to move to Tirunelveli. Nawab sent sepoys to Mahfuz Khan to move to Tirunelveli. Thousands of sepoys of the company Mahfuz Khan received. 600 more from the Nawab. 1000 plus 600 he got from the Nawab, with the support of cavalry and foot soldiers from Karnataka. Before Mahfuz Khan could station his troops near Kalakadu, before Mahfuz Khan could reach the battlefield at Kalakadu, Pulideva was ready with 2000 soldiers from Travancore for the battle. So Mahfuz Khan troops were routed out. Yusuf Khan and Pulideva. The Palayakaras under Pulideva gave an opportunity to the English to interfere directly in the affairs of Tirunelveli by the help of Raja of Travancore. The Palayakaras under Pulideva gave an opportunity to the English to interfere directly in the affairs of Tirunelveli. Raja of Travancore also helped him. The Palayakaras of Tirunelveli, led by Pulideva, was against the Nawab's authority. They were going against the Nawab's authority. Yusuf Khan was not prepared to attack Pulideva. But Yusuf Khan was not prepared to attack Pulideva. The English were at war with the French. The English were at the war with the French. They were with Hyder Ali and Marathas. They were with the war with Hyder Ali and Marathas. When the artillery arrived, Yusuf Khan began to attack Palayakara fort, Nirkattum Seval fort. And this attack continued for about 2 months. Pulideva's 3 major forts, Nirkattum Sevalil, Vasudevanallur and Panayur, came under the control of Yusuf Khan. The unity of Palayakaras began to break up. The unity began to break up as French did not support them. Yusuf Khan, who was negotiating with the Palayakaras, without informing the company administration, did not inform the company administration, so he was hanged in 1764. So Yusuf Khan was hanged in 1764. Pulideva returned from exile and recaptured Nirkattum Seval, and he was defeated by Captain Campbell in 1761. Pulideva escaped and died in exile. Velu Nachiyar. Velu Nachiyar was the only daughter of Raja Sellamuthu Sethupathi of Ramanathapuram. Raja Sellamuthu Sedupadi of Ramanathapuram. Velu Nachiyar was given training in martial arts like Valari, stick fighting, and to wield weapons. She also adopted in horse riding and archery. She was influenced in English, French, and Urdu. At the age of 16, Velu Nachiyar was married to Muthu Vadagar, the Raja of Shivagangai. Velu Nachiyar was married to Muthu Vadagar, the Raja of Shivagangai. She had a daughter by name Vellachi Nachiyar. The daughter's name was Vellachi Nachiyar. The Nawab of Arcot and the company troops under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Bonjour stormed the Kalayar Kovil Palace. The Nawab of Arcot and the company troops stormed the Kalayar Kovil Palace. Muthu Vadagar was killed. Velu Nachiyar escaped with her daughter and lived under the protection of Gopala Nayak at Virupakchi near Dindigul for 8 years. She escaped with her daughter and lived under the protection of Gopala Nayak at Virupakchi near Dindigul for 8 years. Velu Nachiyar organized an army with Gopala Nayakar and Hyder Ali as well. Tandavarayanar wrote a letter to Sultan Hyder Ali on behalf of Velu Nachiyar asking for 5,000 infantry and 5,000 cavalry to defeat the English. So Tandavarayanar wrote a letter to Sultan Hyder Ali on behalf of Velu Nachiyar asking for infantry and cavalry to defeat the English. Velu Nachiyar explained in detail in Urdu all the problems she had faced with East India Company. Impressed by her courage, Hyder Ali ordered his commandant Saeed in Dindigul Fort to provide the required military assistance. Velu Nachiyar gathered information where the British had stored their ammunitions. With military assistance from Gopala Nayak and Hyder Ali, she recaptured Shivagangai. She was crowned as queen with the help of Marudu brothers. She was the first female ruler or queen to resist the British colonial power in India. Rebellion of Veerapandiya Kattabomman. Veerapandiya Kattabomman became the Palayakarar of Panjalankurichi at the age of 30. After the death of his father Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabomman. Several events led to the conflicts between Veerapandiya Kattabomman and East India Company. The Nawab has signed a treaty in 1781. The Nawab had signed a treaty in 1781. According to the treaty, the revenue of the Carnatic should be handed over to the company. 1/6 of the revenue was to be allowed to meet the expenses of Nawab and his family. The company gained the right to collect tax from Panjalankurichi. The company collectors humiliated the Palayakaras and adopted force to collect the taxes. This was a bone of contention between the English and the Kattabomman. Confrontation with Jackson. Collector Jackson sent an army to collect the revenue dues. Collector Jackson sent an army to collect all the revenue dues. The Madras government did not give him permission. But Collector Jackson ordered Kattabomman to meet him in Ramanathapuram. But he ordered Kattabomman to meet him at Ramanathapuram. When Kattabomman tried to meet him at Kutralam and Srivilliputtur, Jackson refused. At last, he was granted permission and Kattabomman met Jackson at Ramanathapuram on 19th September 1798. When he met Jackson, Kattabomman had to stand for 3 hours before the haughty collector Jackson. Kattabomman understood the situation and tried to escape along with his minister Sivasubramanianar. But Umadurai helped him to escape. At the gate of Ramanathapuram fort, there was a clash. In the clash, some people, including Lieutenant Clerk, were killed. Sivasubramanianar was taken prisoner. Kattabomman represented to the Madras Council. Kattabomman represented to the Madras Council about how he was ill-treated by Collector Jackson. Governor Edward Clive ordered the release of Sivasubramanianar and the suspension of Collector Jackson due to the ill-treatment of Kattabomman. Jackson was dismissed from service and a new collector, S.R. Lushington, appointed. Kattabomman cleared all the revenue of arrears, leaving only a balance of 1080 pagodas. Kattabomman was interested in South Indian Confederacy. Kattabomman was interested in South Indian Confederacy. Collector Lushington prevented Kattabomman from meeting the Marudu brothers. Who prevented? Collector Lushington. But Marudu brothers and Kattabomman jointly decided to attack the English. The Palayakaras of Sivagiri refused to join with Kattabomman. So the company ordered the army to march on to Tirunelveli. Lord Wellesley in May 1799 issued orders from Madras about the advance of forces from Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur, Madurai to Tirunelveli. All the 3 forces to Tirunelveli. Major Bannerman commanded the troops. The Travancore troops too joined the British. Kattabomman's evasive reply prompted Bannerman to attack his fort. Kattabomman's fort. Bannerman sent Ramalinganath to convey a message asking Kattabomman to surrender. But Kattabomman refused. In a clash at Kallarpatti, Sivasubramanianar was taken a prisoner. Execution of Kattabomman. Kattabomman escaped to Pudukkottai. Kattabomman was finally captured. Sivasubramanianar was executed. During the trial, Kattabomman bravely admitted all the charges. Kattabomman was hanged from a tamarind tree in the old fort of Kayathar, close to Tirunelveli. Thus ended the life of the celebrated Palayakaras of Panjalam Kurichi. Marudu brothers. Periya Marudu, Chinna Marudu were able generals of Muthu Vadagar of Sivagangai. They were the generals of Muthu Vadagar of Sivagangai. After Muthu Vadagar's death in the Kalayarkovil battle, they restored the throne to Velu Nachiyar. After the death of Kattabomman, they worked with Umadurai. They caused damage and destruction to company's troops. Marudu Pandian of Sivagangai, Gopala Nayak of Dindigul, Kerala Varma of Malabar, Krishnappa Nayak and Dudanji of Mysore. They met at Virupakshi and decided to fight against the company. It broke out in Coimbatore and spread to Ramanathapuram and Madurai. The Palayakaras of Coimbatore, Satyamangalam and Tarapuram were caught and hanged. The two brothers of Kattabomman, Umadurai and Sivathaiya, escaped from Palayangottai prison to Kamudi, from where Chinnamarudu took them to Siruvoyal, his capital. Marudu brothers sought shelter in Shivagangai. The English demanded that Marudu Pandyas should be handed over, but they refused. In June 1801, Marudu brothers issued a proclamation of independence which is called Tiruchirappalli Proclamation. Tiruchirappalli Proclamation of 1801. The proclamation was pasted on the walls of the Nawab's palace in Tiruchirappalli fort and on the walls of Srirangam temple. They rallied together, they joined together to fight against the British. Chinnamarudu collected 20,000 men to challenge the English army. Divide and rule policy followed by the English split the forces of Palayakaras soon. The English attacked the rebels in Tanjavur and Tiruchirappalli. The Marudu brothers were executed in the fort of Tirupattur near Ramanathapuram. On 24th October 1801, Umadurai and Sivathaiya were captured and beheaded at Panjalangurichi. Thus, the rebellion of Marudu brothers, which is called South Indian Rebellion, is a landmark event in the history of Tamil Nadu. Carnatic Treaty 1801. Under the terms of the Carnatic Treaty of 31st July 1801, the British assumed direct control over Tamilagam, and the Palayakara system came to an end with the demolition of all forts and dismantlement of their army. Dheeran Chinnamalai. Dheeran Chinnamalai was known as Tirthagiri. He was born in 1756. He was well trained in Silambu archery, horse riding and modern warfare. He was involved in family and land disputes. The Kongu region. It was under the control of Mysore Sultan. Tax was collected by Tipu's Diwan Muhammad Ali. Once, when the Diwan was returning to Mysore with the tax money, Dheeran blocked his way and took all the tax money. He let Muhammad Ali to go and instruct and tell his Sultan that Chinnamalai, who is between Shivamalai and Chennimalai, was the one who took away taxes. Thus he gained the name Dheeran Chinnamalai. Chinnamalai emerged victorious in the Battle of Noyal. After Tipu's death, Dheeran Chinnamalai built a fort and fought the British without leaving the place. Hence the place is called Odanilai. Later, English captured him and his brothers and kept them in prison in Sangagiri. They refused to accept. So they were hanged at the top of the Sangagiri fort on 31st July 1805. Velur Revolt. All Palayakaras of South Tamil Nadu went into the submission of the East India Company. Salem, Dindukal, Coimbatore. After the suppression of Kattabomman and Marudu brothers, the British charged Nawab of Arcot. After the suppression of Kattabomman and Marudu brothers, the British charged the Nawab of Arcot with disloyalty and forced him to sign a treaty. According to this treaty, 1801, Nawab was to give the districts of North Arcot, South Arcot, Trichurapalli, Madurai, and Tirunelveli to the company. Grievances of Indian soldiers. The sepoys in the British Indian Army, they received very low salary, poor prospects of promotion, no promotion. Social and religious sentiments of the Indian sepoys also led to anger. Famine broke out. Indian soldiers were asked not to wear caste marks or earrings when in uniform. They have to cleanly shave on the chin and maintain uniformity about how their moustache looked. The new turban added fuel to the fire because the addiction was the leather cockade made of animal skin. They refused to wear the new turbans. Hence, the company administration did not take heed. Outbreak of the revolt. On 10th July 1806, guns were booming and the Indian sepoys of 1st and 23rd Regiment in two groups raised the standard of revolt. Colonel Fancourt was the first victim under the guns. Colonel McCarras, the 23rd Regiment, was killed next. Major Armstrong, who was passing the fort, heard the sound of firing. He was showered with bullets. So first victim was Colonel Fancourt. Second victim was Colonel McCarras. Third one was Major Armstrong. A dozen of other officers were killed within an hour. Gillespie's brutality. Major Coots, who was outside the fort, informed Colonel Gillespie. Gillespie reached the fort. Under the command of Captain Young at 9 a.m., the rebels proclaimed Fateh Haidar, Tipu's eldest son, Fateh Haidar, as the new ruler and hoisted the tiger flag of Mysore Sultans in the fort. Gillespie reached the fort. Under the command of Captain Young at 9 a.m., the rebels proclaimed Fateh Haidar, the Tipu's eldest son, as the new ruler and hoisted the tiger flag of Mysore Sultans in the fort. It was crushed by Colonel Gillespie. 800 soldiers were found dead in the fort. 600 soldiers were kept in confinement and several awaiting inquiry. 6 of the rebels convicted by the court, blown from the guns. 5 were shot dead. 8 hanged. Tipu's sons were ordered to send to Calcutta. The officers and men were rewarded with prize money and promotion who supported them. Colonel Gillespie was given 7,000 pagodas. The commander-in-chief, Sir John Cradock, General Agnew, Governor William Bentinck were responsible for the revolt. So they were recalled to London. The military regulations were treated as withdrawn. The Vellore revolt failed because there was no immediate help from outside. The only difference was that there was no civil rebellion following the mutiny. The 1806 revolt was not confined to Vellore fort. It had its echoes in Bellary, Walajabad, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, and Shankaragiri Durg. With this, we come to the end of the lesson. Thank you.